In the UK, thousands of drivers are fined every single day, and some penalties already reach £10,000 for serious offences. Now imagine this. By 2026, enforcement is expected to become so advanced that even a 2-second mistake could cost you the equivalent of $10,000. Sounds extreme? Maybe. But police forces across the country are already rolling out AI-powered cameras that can spot mobile phone use, seatbelt violations, and even distracted driving, without a single officer pulling you over. Here's the unsettling part. Most drivers breaking these rules don't even realize they're doing it. Checking a quick notification at a red light, letting your speed drift a few miles over the limit on a smart motorway, driving into a clean A zone without knowing your car isn't compliant. These small, everyday habits are now being tracked automatically, and the system doesn't give warnings, it gives fines. So what exactly is changing in 2026? Who is most at risk? And how can you protect yourself before enforcement tightens even further? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could save you thousands. Number 1, the $10,000 fine. What's really happening in 2026? Let's clear the confusion immediately. There isn't one single new $10,000 ticket being sent to every driver. The real story is actually more serious. Under existing UK law, certain driving offences can already lead to fines of up to £5,000 to £10,000, especially when cases go to court. And with enforcement expanding rapidly, more drivers are falling into that category without realizing how close they are to the limit. For example, dangerous driving, driving without insurance, or causing serious risk through distracted driving can all carry massive financial penalties. Even mobile phone use, something many drivers still underestimate, can result in heavy fines, penalty points, and increased insurance costs. Now add repeat offences into the picture, and the numbers climb fast. What starts as a simple £200 penalty can snowball into thousands when court fees, insurance hikes, and additional penalties stack up. But here's where 2026 becomes important. Police forces across the UK are increasing the use of AI-powered road cameras and automated detection systems. These cameras don't just catch speeding. They can now detect whether you're holding a phone, not wearing a seatbelt, or driving carelessly in monitored zones. And unlike a human officer, automated systems don't get tired, distracted, or lenient. This means the risk isn't just about harsher laws, it's about higher chances of getting caught. Small habits that once went unnoticed are now being recorded instantly. The rules haven't dramatically changed overnight. The technology has. And that's why more drivers could find themselves facing serious fines in the coming years. Number 2, why police enforcement is increasing right now. If you felt like there are more cameras on the roads lately, you're not imagining it. Across the UK, enforcement is becoming smarter, faster, and far more automated. And this shift didn't happen by accident. Authorities have been under growing pressure to reduce road accidents, crack down on distracted driving, and meet stricter environmental targets. The result? A major upgrade in how drivers are monitored. In recent years, road safety data has shown that distraction and speeding remain two of the biggest causes of serious crashes. Instead of relying only on traffic officers physically pulling drivers over, police forces are investing heavily in technology. We're talking about high-definition roadside cameras powered by artificial intelligence, systems capable of detecting mobile phone use, seatbelt violations, and even subtle driving behaviors that suggest inattention. And here's what makes this different from the past. It's constant. These systems operate 24/7. They don't need breaks. They don't issue warnings. If a violation is detected, a notice can be generated automatically. That means drivers who rely on "I probably won't get caught" are facing a very different reality today. On top of that, clean air zones and urban monitoring systems are expanding. Vehicles that don't meet emission standards can trigger daily fines just by entering certain areas. Many drivers don't realize this until the letters start arriving. So enforcement isn't just increasing, it's becoming unavoidable. The roads haven't suddenly become stricter overnight, but the ability to catch violations has dramatically improved. And that's what's catching many drivers off guard. Number 3, the hidden costs most drivers never calculate. When people hear about a £10,000 fine, they imagine a single dramatic mistake, something extreme. But in reality, what drains drivers financially isn't always one huge penalty. It's the chain reaction that follows a simple offense. Let's say you're caught using your phone while driving. You receive a fine and penalty points on your license. That alone feels manageable. But then your insurance provider reviews your record. Suddenly, your annual premium increases, sometimes by hundreds, even thousands of pounds over time. Now imagine a second offense within a short period. More points, higher risk profile, even steeper insurance costs. And it doesn't stop there. If an offense goes to court, fines can scale based on your income. Court fees get added. Legal costs may follow. In serious cases, you could even face a driving ban. That means alternative transport, miss work, or lost income if driving is part of your job. What started as a small mistake quietly turns into a financial avalanche. Many drivers only look at the initial ticket amount. They don't calculate the long-term impact. Insurance hikes over 3 to 5 years. Increased scrutiny from authorities. Difficulty securing affordable coverage. These hidden costs are what push total expenses into the thousands. The truth is, enforcement technology is increasing the chances of being caught. But the real danger lies in underestimating the aftermath. It's not just about paying a fine. It's about protecting your license, your insurance record, and your financial stability for years to come. Number 4, who is most at risk when fines start climbing. Here's something most people don't think about. Stricter enforcement doesn't affect every driver equally. Some groups are naturally more exposed, not because they are reckless, but because they spend more time on the road. And the more time you drive, the more opportunities there are for small mistakes to turn into expensive consequences. Take delivery drivers, rideshare drivers, and taxi drivers. Their entire income depends on being behind the wheel for hours every day. That constant exposure increases the chances of triggering automated cameras, whether it's creeping slightly over a speed limit, glancing at a device, or missing a newly installed road sign. Even minor violations, repeated over time, can stack up quickly. Urban commuters are another high-risk group. Driving daily through city centers means navigating bus lanes, clean air zones, congestion areas, pedestrian priority streets, and smart motorways. One wrong turn into a restricted lane or non-compliant zone can lead to fines many drivers didn't even know applied to them. New drivers are also vulnerable. With less experience reading complex road layouts and updated highway code changes, they may unintentionally break rules that seasoned drivers catch instinctively. And because they often already face higher insurance premiums, even a single offense can hit them harder financially. But here's the reality. You don't need to drive for a living to be at risk. If you rely on habit, I've always in your area.s done it this way. You could be overlooking new enforcement systems already active. Number 5, how to protect yourself before 2026 hits. Now let's shift from fear to control. Because the good news is this, most major fines are preventable with a few smart adjustments. You don't need to become a perfect driver overnight. You just need to become a more aware one. First, check your license status online. Know exactly how many points you have. Many drivers are shocked to learn they are closer to a suspension threshold than they thought. Awareness alone can change behavior instantly. Second, eliminate gray areas. If you still occasionally touch your phone at traffic lights, stop completely. Even holding it for a second can trigger AI detection systems. Invest in a fully legal hands-free setup and set everything before you start driving. No shortcuts. Third, control your speed proactively. Modern cars make it easy to drift a few miles over the limit without noticing. Use cruise control in monitored zones and smart motorways. That tiny buffer could save you hundreds. Fourth, check your vehicle's compliance. If you drive into city centers, confirm whether your car meets Clean Air Zone or ULEZ standards. A simple online check can prevent repeated daily fines that quietly stack up. Finally, revisit the updated highway code. Rules around cyclists, pedestrians, and junction priorities have changed in recent years. Many drivers are still operating under outdated habits. The key difference between drivers who pay thousands and those who don't often comes down to one thing: proactive habits. Number 6, what happens if you ignore this warning? Let's be honest for a moment. It's easy to hear all of this and think, it won't happen to me. Most drivers believe they're careful enough. They've never had a serious accident. They've never faced a huge fine. So the urgency doesn't feel real. But here's the problem. The system doesn't rely on how careful you feel. It relies on what cameras detect. Imagine this scenario. You're running late for work. You check your phone quickly at a junction. A week later, a notice arrives. You brush it off. Months pass. Then another one. Speeding by a small margin on a smart motorway. Now you have points. Your insurance renews at a higher rate. You feel frustrated, maybe even unlucky. But from the system's perspective, you're now a high-risk driver. Ignore enough warnings, and things escalate. Court summons, larger fines, possible disqualification. If driving is part of your income, the consequences multiply fast. Even if it's not, losing your license disrupts your entire routine, commuting, school runs, family responsibilities. And here's what makes this different from years ago. Enforcement is becoming consistent and automated. There are fewer second chances, fewer verbal warnings, more digital records. This isn't about fear, it's about pattern recognition. Small repeated behaviors create long-term consequences. And by 2026, with tighter integration between detection systems and penalties, ignoring early signs could become extremely expensive. Number 7, the smart driver strategy for 2026 and beyond. By now, you can see this isn't just about avoiding one fine. It's about adopting completely different mindset behind the wheel. The drivers who stay protected over the next few years won't necessarily be the most skilled. They'll be the most strategic. Smart drivers understand one key truth. Enforcement is no longer random. It's systematic. That means guessing, hoping, or relying on luck is no longer a plan. Instead, you build habits that make violations almost impossible. Start by creating a pre-drive routine. Before you even move the car, set your navigation, music, and phone settings. Remove every temptation to touch your device mid-journey. Make your vehicle a distraction-free zone. Next, think long-term. Treat your license like a financial asset, because that's exactly what it is. A clean driving record keeps insurance premiums low, protects your job opportunities, and preserves your flexibility. Once points are added, the asset starts losing value. Also, stay informed. Road laws evolve. Clean air zones expand. Camera technology improves. Drivers who pay attention to updates avoid being caught off guard. Even spending 10 minutes every few months reviewing changes can make a huge difference. Finally, slow down, not just physically, but mentally. Rushing creates mistakes. Mistakes create fines. And fines create stress. A calmer driving style doesn't just protect your wallet, it protects your peace of mind. 2026 isn't just a year. It's a shift in how driving is monitored in the UK. The question isn't whether enforcement will increase. Number 8, final warning. The window to prepare is closing. Here's the reality most drivers don't want to hear. The shift isn't coming someday in the distant future. It's already happening. Cameras are being upgraded. Monitoring systems are expanding. Data is being connected across regions. And by the time 2026 officially arrives, the infrastructure will likely already be fully active. The biggest mistake drivers make is waiting for a dramatic announcement. They expect a headline that says, "New £10,000 fine starts today." But that's not how this works. Enforcement tightens gradually. Detection improves quietly. Penalties stack silently. And many people only realize the change when the notice lands on their doorstep. Think about it. If technology can now detect a phone in your hand from hundreds of feet away, what will it detect next year? If insurance companies are already adjusting premiums based on minor offences, how much stricter could risk profiling become? The direction is clear: more automation, more consistency, less tolerance. But here's the empowering part. You still have control. Right now, you can adjust habits. You can double-check compliance. You can drive with intention instead of assumption. The drivers who act early will barely feel the shift. The ones who ignore it may feel it financially for years. Number 9, the bottom line. Awareness is cheaper than fines. After everything we've discussed, it all comes down to one powerful truth. Awareness costs nothing, but ignorance can cost thousands. The roads themselves haven't suddenly become more dangerous. What's changed is the level of visibility. Every camera, every sensor, every automated system is designed to remove guesswork from enforcement. And when guesswork disappears, so do second chances. Many drivers still rely on old assumptions. If I don't see a police car, I'm fine. But in today's environment, enforcement isn't always visible. It's digital, silent, constant. A moment of distraction, a slight speed increase, or entering the wrong zone can now be recorded instantly and processed automatically. The real danger isn't reckless driving. It's routine behavior that hasn't adapted to modern monitoring. Small habits like resting your phone in your hand, rolling slightly over a stop line, or ignoring updated road rules may have gone unnoticed years ago. Today, those same habits are far more likely to trigger penalties. But here's the empowering part. You don't need to drive in fear. You just need to drive informed. When you understand how enforcement works, you naturally adjust. You become calmer, more intentional, more alert. And that shift protects more than your wallet. It protects your record, your time, and your peace of mind. So as 2026 approaches, remember this. The smartest drivers won't be the fastest or the most confident. Number 10, final reminder. This is about control, not fear. Before you click away, let's make one thing absolutely clear. This isn't about scaring drivers. It's about giving you back control. The headlines may sound dramatic. The numbers may seem shocking. But when you break it down, the real power lies in understanding how the system works and adjusting before it adjusts you. Driving in the UK is entering a new phase. Enforcement is becoming automated. Violations are being recorded with precision. And financial penalties are scaling based on risk, repeat behavior, and severity. That doesn't mean every driver is doomed. It means the margin for careless habits is shrinking. Think of it this way. Every time you choose not to check your phone, every time you stay within the speed limit, every time you double-check zone compliance, you're actively protecting your future self. You're avoiding stress, paperwork, rising insurance costs, and unexpected financial pressure. The drivers who will thrive in 2026 and beyond aren't perfect. They're intentional. They understand that modern roads require modern awareness. They don't rely on luck. They rely on preparation. And here's the truth. Small changes today could prevent massive consequences tomorrow. So don't wait for a fine to force change. Make the shift now, while it's easy. Because once penalties stack up, recovery is far harder than prevention. As we wrap this up, let's bring everything back to one simple truth. This isn't about panic. It's about preparation. The conversation around £10,000 fines and stricter enforcement isn't meant to scare responsible drivers. It's meant to highlight how quickly the driving landscape in the UK is evolving. Technology is advancing. Monitoring systems are expanding. And enforcement is becoming more automated than ever before. The biggest risk right now isn't reckless driving. It's outdated habits. Many drivers are still operating the way they did 5 or 10 years ago, unaware that detection systems are smarter, penalties can escalate faster, and insurance consequences can last for years. A small decision in a split second can now carry long-term financial impact. But here's the empowering part. You are not powerless in this situation. In fact, you have more control than ever. By adjusting simple behaviors, staying off your phone completely, monitoring your speed carefully, checking clean air zone compliance, and keeping up with highway code updates, you dramatically reduce your exposure to costly penalties. Think of your driving license as an asset. It protects your freedom, your convenience, and for many people, your income. Protecting it should be intentional. 2026 doesn't have to be a year of fear. It can be a year where prepared drivers glide through changes effortlessly while others struggle with unexpected fines.